So today we are talking about how to market your small business, how to drive visitors, leads, and sales, and these are the same methods that we use to get results like this, and this. This is going to be no fluff, no nonsense, so let's just get right into it. But before we do, my name is Tristan with LYFE Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses grow. And this video isn't just my own experience, this is a culmination of all of our collective knowledge when it comes to marketing your small business. So what I've done is I've distilled it down to the 7 most important things you need to effectively market your small business. And then I've broken them down into easy and actionable steps that you can start taking today, starting with developing your digital assets. So first of all, what do I mean when I say digital asset? Well, you can think of it like this. An asset is anything that generates positive cash flow. So if you have like a rental property, for example, then your asset would be the house. But if you have a small business, then your digital asset is going to be something more like your website. Now, before you even venture into marketing your business, there are 3 digital assets that I want you to have ready to go. You need a website, a drip sequence, and high quality content. But why these specifically? Well, it's simple. First, you need a website. You need a place that you own, a place that you have control over, a place where people can find you, learn about you, buy from you, or book a service that you provide. Then you need a place where you can follow up with new, old, and potential customers automatically. This is going to be your drip sequence. If you don't know what a drip sequence is, basically it's like a series of messages sent to people at specific times or because of specific triggers. It's usually done through email, but basically it's a way for businesses to stay in touch and share useful information and then gradually build a relationship with their audience. And you need high quality photos and videos because first impressions are everything. For example, if you run a high-end restaurant, you don't want people to go to your website only to find blurry pictures of a poorly cooked steak. You'd want them to see a beautifully plated entree that sets the tone for the rest of their experience with you. Especially nowadays, video is everywhere, and you're going to want to figure out how to make that work for you and your business. Now, with all 3 of these things, there is something I want you to keep in mind. For this to be as effective as it possibly can be, you need to have high-quality designs. Let's face it, all right? No matter how great your marketing is, nobody wants to buy an ugly design. So while it may seem tempting to outsource through a platform like Fiverr, remember that oftentimes with design, you get what you pay for. So do your research and make sure you're working with someone or hiring somebody that has a history of doing work that really sticks out to you. Okay, so quick recap. Before you do the rest of the things in this video, if you want the best results possible, make sure you have a good website, a good drip sequence, and high quality content. You got it? Good.
What if I told you that people are looking for you right now?
No, but seriously, they are. They have a really big problem and only you and a handful of others can actually help them solve it. Well, that's where SEO comes in. SEO means search engine optimization, which basically means how optimized your website is for search engines. In other words, it's the process of improving your website's visibility on search engines so that it ranks higher in search results and then attracts more visitors. So the question is then, how do you get started with SEO? Well, I have 3 quick and easy steps for you. Step 1 is to do keyword research. You see, Google has this amazing tool called the Google Keyword Planner. You can use this tool to give you hundreds of keyword suggestions along with their search volume. So this makes it super easy to figure out which terms and keywords you should focus on. Because here's the thing, right? Even if your industry is small, there's still likely someone searching for those keywords on Google. Step 2 is you need to do what's called on-page optimization. So once you have your keywords chosen, next you have to make it super easy for search engines to find them. You see, the way it works is popular search engines like Google actually have bots that basically just scan pages on the internet to figure out what all of these websites are about. It uses a bunch of technical stuff like meta tags, alt tags, H1s, user behavior, etc. And this may sound confusing, but fortunately there are tools to make this super easy. For example, if your website is built with WordPress, this can be easily done with a tool like Yoast. Yoast makes it an easy and streamlined process to see what you need to do to optimize your page. You can see problems, what needs improvements, and what looks good. But if you don't use WordPress, just make sure that your keywords are placed abundantly but appropriately throughout your website in H1s, alt tags, meta tags, and really wherever it's relevant. And if you don't have one already, start a blog. A blog is a great way to fill your website with high search volume keywords and give potential customers free value to show your authority in your industry without sounding like you're just using keywords for the sake of having them in there. And step 3, repeat. See, the harsh reality is that SEO takes time, generally at least 6 to 12 months. The trick with great SEO, however, is to keep going on with these practices in your projects even when you're not seeing any traffic yet. You'll likely only see small improvements at first, but that's still progress. You'll see yourself go from not ranking at all to ranking 90th. And while ranking as number 90 on Google will likely get you 0 traffic, since it's probably on like the 8th or the 9th page of search results and nobody really goes there, this is still a sign that your consistency and hard work is paying off. So keep optimizing, keep improving, and you will get to the first page of results on Google. You can use pay-per-click on search engines. Think of SEO like a big mall. PPC is like having prime real estate at the mall. It's like having the retail space that everybody sees first, but usually these stores cost more to rent, and such is the case with PPC. You see, pay-per-click is very similar to SEO in that it gets you to where you want to be, right at the top of the search suggestions. But the main difference is, yeah, you have to pay for it, but you don't necessarily have to wait 12 months before you start getting results and initial traffic. So here's an example, right? If I search for call center analytics, I see these ads. Now, if I click on one of these ads, then the company that I clicked on pays for it, hence the phrase pay per click. And you should also know that the cost per click is based on the competition of the keyword. But once again, Google has us covered with their keyword planner because that actually gives you an estimate of what you can expect to pay per click for any given keyword. There are still some things you need to know about PPC advertising though. Number one is you still need to do keyword research. This isn't just some magical thing that skyrockets you to the top without having to do your research. It's still a big part of it. Number two, CTR matters, like a lot. And if you don't know, CTR stands for click-through rate, which just represents the percentage of people that clicked your ad out of all the people who were shown it. CTR can get pretty deep, but essentially, if you want to drive as much traffic as possible, you need to constantly optimize and improve your PPC campaigns based on what is and what isn't working. And tip number three, whenever possible, make sure you are capturing leads. So this means having a landing page with a clear and concise call to action. Here's a great example, right? On this page, there is no menu. The call to action is very simple. All you have the ability to do is either download or leave. This helps our conversion rate skyrocket, and we can better track the money we spent on pay-per-click advertising. Now, making an effective landing page is something that should be a whole video just in and of itself. So let me know in the comments if you want to see a video breakdown of what makes an effective landing page. Last thought, not as much a tip, but just remember that while pay-per-click allows you to kind of skip the line, it will also bring your overall profits down. It's not a free cheat to get to the top, and it does cost money, and that click isn't always guaranteed to convert to a purchase. So before you get started, just make sure you have it in the budget. Learn to embrace social media. It's no secret that social media platforms are massive opportunities to connect with potential customers. And if you think that your customers aren't on social media, think again. Facebook alone has over 3.049 billion with a B monthly users. That is over 9 times the population of the US alone. That is massive. So trust me when I say that your customers are definitely on social media, probably Facebook, which means there is definitely an opportunity for your business. Now, caveat, there is a difference between social media and SEO. The main difference is the intent behind them. You see, when people go on social media, they're looking for other people, their friends, their family, celebrities, etc. They're not really looking to be sold to like they may be with a Google search or through SEO. So how do they differ when it comes to your next steps? Basically, instead of keyword cramming in PPC, you just have to create valuable content. And just gonna put this out there now, posting your products over and over again, talking about sales, telling people to come to your store, none of that is giving any value to anyone. And if anything, that can actually drive people away from your page. So the keywords are important, yes, but providing free value, entertainment, education, and fostering an engaging environment are bigger factors on here than they would be like on your website, for example. Now, creating content can be distilled into 2 simple steps. 1, social listening. By that I mean, before you post, just listen to your audience. Join their groups, read their comments, study who they're following and why, because this is going to give you a much better understanding of your audience, what they want to see, who they interact with, their challenges, and their goals. And once you have all this in mind, it's time to move on to step 2, create valuable content. Most people will tell you quality over quantity, and this is half right. Let me explain. See, what you have to do is create value. What do I mean by value? Well, I mean, you want to create stuff that makes your audience's life better. Give them advice on commonly asked questions, show your expertise, engage, entertain, and educate them. Because then, and only then, will you have the opportunity to sell them on your business. Remember, SEO is like a mall. They came searching, they walked into your store, so it's appropriate to talk to them about your products and your services. It's expected. And then on the other hand, social media is a little bit more like a public park. Like, imagine you're just just at the park and a random stranger just comes up to you out of nowhere and says something like,
Hey man, did you know that with the software I use, you can automate your bookkeeping and have a CRM tool all in one?
like you'd probably be like, man, listen, like I'm just trying to walk my dog. I don't really care. So create content with the intention of making someone's day better, not selling them something. That's not to say quantity isn't important, because it absolutely is, but I think consistency is more important, right? So like blasting 20 different reels and product photos at once may get a lot of eyes on you for that one day, but it'll do more for you in the long run to, for example, put out high value content 4 times a week than it will to just post 4 times a day just to post. Speaking of, let's talk about how often, when, and what you should be posting. While you can post just a static image with a caption, I'm finding currently that the best way to engage your audience is either by posting reels or by making carousel posts. Something I've been seeing a lot of is a carousel post consisting of 2 things. First, a graphic that kind of like acts like a hook, and then a video on the next slide. And then there's reels. There is so much I could say about it that it could be its own video again. But what you need to know is that video is huge, and honestly, it's only getting bigger. So whether you're giving away free advice, showing an entertaining part of the day in your business, whatever it is, you can't go wrong with reels as long as it's human. Which brings me to the next point, which is when should you post? That part is actually pretty simple. See, as you continue to post, Instagram will collect data from your followers, and you can access this in your analytics, but this will show you what dates and times are the best to post. Not so scary. Number 5 is to take advantage of social media advertising. If social media is like being at a park, social media ads are like having a lemonade stand at that park. You may get some eyeballs on you, but unlike a shopping mall, not everybody is there just for you. They're there to have fun, take a walk, or do something outside. But some people might get thirsty, see your stand, and then come buy some lemonade. Some people may see you and go, I'm good right now, but definitely next time. So how can you start using social media advertising to drive results? Unlike regular social media upkeep, volume isn't quite as necessary here. As a matter of fact, it's actually entirely possible for one ad to drive thousands in results. Just has to be a really good ad. Now, it's kind of impossible for me to give you an exact one-size-fits-all formula on how to create ads because, well, it really depends on your audience and what you do, what you provide. You wouldn't advertise dog toys to cat owners, right? You wouldn't advertise a local butcher to a vegetarian. But there are a couple pieces of advice I can give you that you can keep in mind to keep you on the right path. Number 1 is create an ad that provides value first. So you see this a lot in challenge promotions like Get Ripped in 30 Days. They show you the value of the offer up front. This is what entices people to click. 2 is remember that people read headlines before they read copy and descriptions. So like that's your hook. That's what's going to get people interested in your offer. Number 3, we're going back to our digital assets here. Use high quality images and videos. Videos nowadays are probably a little bit better since everything is kind of moving in a video-centric direction, but it's not a hard rule. It can still be either. Just make sure that it's high quality. If it's a picture, make sure it's in focus, it's not pixelated, things like that. And number 4, warm audiences convert nearly 10 times better than cold audiences. If you don't know, a warm audience is just someone who's heard about you before, whether they visited your website, saw you at an event, whatever it may be, they already know you or your product. So if you have the luxury of using warm audiences or custom audiences, then you are going to have a much higher success rate. A custom audience is a specifically targeted group of individuals created by advertisers based on specific criteria like their demographics, interests, previous interactions, things like that. With custom audiences, you're able to create a high-performing cold audience. This is called a lookalike audience. So this new audience is based off of a previously high-performing audience based off of their similar interests or behaviors, things like that. Basically what you're doing is you're taking a really well-performing audience, you're distilling that down to certain interests or behaviors, and then you're creating a new audience based off of those things. And the mentality behind that is you're basically saying, this worked really well for these guys, it'll probably work really well for these guys, and you're more likely to get conversions. Now we're getting real deep into some more of the advanced stuff here, and I'm not going to go any deeper into it, but if you want a full video about it, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Anyway, once you start creating these different audiences, you're hitting the point where you're going to need to start testing. This means you may have to spend a little bit of money before you find the right ad that hits with the right audience and ultimately converts. Unfortunately, the reality is there is no shortcut to this. It's just one of the costs of social media advertising. Here's a crazy statistic for you. At the time of writing this, email marketing generates $42 for every $1 spent. Let me say that again. $42 for every $1 spent. That is a crazy statistic. And if that's not enough to convince you that this is something worth investing in, then I don't know what will. And I know some people think that email marketing is dead, but just keep this in mind, right? Literally 99% of email users check their email every every single day, sometimes up to 20 times in a single day. Email marketing is a type of direct marketing that uses personalized mass emails to educate and convince leads to take specific actions, such as making a purchase. And these emails are sent at very specific times, like when somebody abandons their cart, signs up for a mailing list, or even just signs up for your weekly newsletter. And there is one thing that email marketing has over something like building up your Instagram page, and that is you are the owner of your subscriber list. Whereas if anything were to happen to Instagram, you would lose all of those followers through no fault of your own. But if that app went down, it doesn't matter if you had 1 million followers, they're all gone. If you have 1 million subscribers on your email list, they're there. Those are yours. So in order to build your email list, I would suggest offering a free piece of valuable content in exchange for names and email addresses. This can be an ebook, access to a webinar, things like that. And then you'll want to choose an email marketing software. This is essential because this software is going to be responsible for managing your contacts, grouping them based on demographics or behaviors, and setting up automated email sequences. Just make sure to not be spammy, regularly clean up the email list, craft engaging subject lines, and provide value-driven content. The last tip is to hire a consultant or an agency. Especially if marketing isn't your forte, a consultant or agency can really help guide you through the ups and the downs of marketing at a rate that is oftentimes more affordable than hiring somebody in-house. The difference between the two is a marketing consultant is generally one individual that can help you out with your marketing and will tell you what to do, whereas an agency is usually a group of consultants or professionals in different fields that will consult and then do the work for you. So a consultant will oftentimes be one person working on a project, whereas with an agency, you'll have a social media manager, a graphic designer, a paid ads expert, all working for you at the same time. From the buyer's perspective, an agency can generally provide you with a little more stability than an individual consultant can, because a consultant can get sick, find a better opportunity, which then leaves you and your marketing hanging out to dry. And then as well, with an agency, you get the collective knowledge of all the professionals on their team, not just one person's experience. Whichever you end up choosing, just make sure that you're working with someone with experience. There are a lot of nuances when it comes to digital marketing, and you really want to work with someone who has results that you can trust and can help guide you through the process. I would say focus on experience over price every time, because the lack of experience will wind up costing you in wasted time anyway. That was a lot, right? So just a quick recap here. Develop your digital assets. Take advantage of SEO. Take advantage of pay-per-click on search engines. Start doing some social media advertising. Build out an email list and take advantage of email marketing. And of course, hire an experienced agency or consultant to help out. Now, my very last thought when it comes to marketing, there is one thing you need to keep in mind, and this trick will help you master the one skill you need to effectively market your business. Something that all of the biggest entrepreneurs understand and have down to a science. So if you want to learn about that, be sure to click on this video right here.